A black general named Servius Septimius. We overthrew them in 193 AD and took over Europe and ruled over white people and had them as slaves for 1,000 years. Then after that, through internal warfare, we began to fall when we were fighting one another. Then these devils came back out the cave and their deadly wound was healed, like it says in Revelation, in 1453 when Constantinople was sacked. The Ottoman Turks, which were white men that converted to Islam, went into Constantinople and sacked that. That was the beginning of their wound being healed. And prior to that, right after that, they had Calixtus III, that was the forerunner of the Borgias family, to get a foothold back in Spain. Then the first white popes to get back and sit on the throne in Spain was Rodrigo Borgias and his faggot son Caesar, who is the new Jesus Christ. Prior to that, all the pictures of Jesus was black. The only time they turned white was during the Renaissance when this devil's deadly wound was healed. When he came back in and got a foothold in Spain, got a foothold in Russia, and then got a foothold in England after that. And after that, he got a foothold in France, and he started taking over the whole world that the Jews was controlling, that the Byzantine, Christian, Jew, black Jews were controlling. Read. You devils can't tell us nothing. Read.
And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper.
Yeah, because his policy is to speak lies. He said, we want to bring peace. That's his policy. Read.
In his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart.
Read.
And by peace.
And by peace, like they were hollering peace today on the news. Read.
Shall he destroy many.
By peace he shall destroy many. By peace he shall destroy many. So there ain't going to be no peace in the Middle East because the wicked are ruling right now. And the Most High is not concerned about bringing no peace there. The Most High is only concerned about bringing death to them. Now I want to show something else. I want to go into the Bible a little bit and get into a little bit of archaeology showing something about the Israelites, particularly the North American Indian. I got a book here. On the front of this book is called, look at this real good. The name of this book is called History of the American Indians by James Adair, who was a prominent scholar in those days. He was a scholar in those days. James Adair.
Hold it a minute. Let the focus, okay.
Now I want to make a statement. This is not a picture of an American Indian on the front of this book. This is a picture of the devil dressed up in Indian's garments. That's what that is on the front of this book.
Yeah, because the
Indians are dark-skinned people just like Negroes, and I got other books that can attest to that I'm going to show right after this. But let me read this caption in this book and give me Genesis the 49th chapter. Deuteronomy the 32nd chapter. I want to show you something here. Because the devil, he always try to play tricks and lie. But we're going to go in this book and show you that the devil ain't going to get away with these lies. Because now it's time for these lies to be brought down. We're going to bring the facts out. We don't care who don't like it. They can drop dead. I'm going to show you what James Adair said in his research that he found out about the Indians. We're telling you that the North American Indians are not Indians, that they're Israelites from the tribe of Gad. Everything about them, their customs, the fringes they wore on their garments, the borders of blue, doing the shemais on a Saturday, which was the Sabbath, everything they did dates back to the Israelites. And I'm going to read that in this book. Bear with me 1 second. Hold the microphone in. As I stated earlier, I wanted to go into a little bit of history about the American Indian. And I want to prove to you biblically and historically that the so-called American Indian is not an Indian, but he's an Israelite.
Could you repeat that again?
As I stated earlier, I would like to go into a little bit of history about the so-called American Indian. And I would like to prove that the so-called American Indian is not an Indian that the white man calls him, but he is an Israelite of the nation of Israel out of the tribe of Gad, and some of them are out of the tribe of Reuben. And to do that, I'll first go in Bible reference. After that, I will go into historical references. Now, I'm in the Bible in the book of Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter, and I read Yashiyah here. The young priest is going to read about the tribe of Gad.
Verse 20. And of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad.
Now, God was the one that enlarged Gad. He gave Gad the whole United States of America. So he enlarged Gad. Gad did not come over here over Alaska through the Straits of Gibraltar. Gad came here during the time of Solomon's maritime, King Solomon's time, during the time when he was a great maritime power. After the death of Solomon, when his kingdom was split in two, 9 tribes came here with Hoshea, King Hoshea. And Gad was one of the tribes that came here. Read.
He dwelleth as a lion.
Gad used to live in this country like a lion in the wilderness. He wasn't afraid of anything. In this country, he was a civilized man. And he had morals and dignity and pride and laws of the Most High that governed him. This is why they wore fringes on their garments and borders of blue, because there was an old Hebrew Israelite custom of the laws of the Most High. Read.
And teareth the arm.
He teareth the arm.
With the crown of the head.
The crown of the head. He wears a bonnet on his head. And he used to take the feather out of the bonnet, cut his arm, and become blood brothers with another one of his brothers by putting his arm up against the arm of the other Indian. Now, I want to show a book concerning that. First of all, I want to make a statement. You devils, you so-called white people, you always running your fat mouth on TV claiming that the North American Indians are red people. When the Bible tells you that the devil is red, and you so-called white people, you are the red people. I ain't never seen no red Indian. But I'll tell you what I did do. I went and I ordered this book about Indians since you claim they're red, and it's called The Great Chiefs. Hold his mic. It's called The Great Chiefs. See the name of that? The Great Chiefs. And you get this through Time Life magazine. I don't even know if you can get it anymore. This book is about 10 years old, 12 years old. The Great Chiefs, Great Indian Chiefs. What's on the front of there? A chief, an Indian riding a horse. But let me show you the color of the Indians, what they looked like. On page 170, it says members of an Indian tribe surrounded by the prophet Smohala, centered with the white shirt, who preached that the Indian dead would arise and drive the white man from their land. Joseph shares Shamala's reverence for land, but not his anti-white bias. Don't believe that. The Indians hated the so-called white man. Now, I want you to show me a red Indian in this photograph of these great chiefs sitting down. You so-called white people need to be the hell whipped out of you. Every Indian on this photograph is dark as hell. The one standing up is dark. The one sitting down is dark. All of them. Look at them. And you devils run around hollering that they red. Ain't a damn thing red about them. I'm showing you in this book. It's just as simple as you want to be. Now, I want to show something else in this book. This is in a museum they got uptown. I forget the name of that museum, but it's in an Indian museum. They're moving it downtown. And I went in there and saw this, and I had to point it out to a couple of Indians. They didn't even know it was in there. Here's an Indian garment made out of deer skin, and what's on that garment? The shield of David, centered, front and center. And on the side of it, the shield of David. Now, what is Indians doing with 6-point stars, the shield of David on their garments? Because they knew that they were Israelites. You see that? The shield of David in their garments. And you got the menorah, the 7-branch candlestick on the other, near the shield. When you go back. See up at the top?
Right.
Look at that. Got the menorah and all that.
Down there too.
Now, why would they have the menorah and the shield of David? This is good. Why would they have that if they didn't know who they were?
Let me say this. They got about 4 menorahs on there.
Right.
One there. One there. One there.
At the top.
One there.
Another one.
Right.
And then look at the shields of David.
They got 5 of them on there.
And 2 big shields of David. You make sure you get them shields of David. This is what the Indians wore in their garments. The menorah, the 7-branch candlestick, and the shield of David. Why? Because they knew that they were the children of Israel. Now, I'm going to show something else. Here's a book I showed earlier. That don't look nothing like the Indians in that book. Didn't look nothing like this thing on here, did it? Here you got the devil on the front of the book talking about an Indian. This don't look nothing like the great chief. This look like Satan on the front of this cover.
And they made it